should imagine as well, knowing Paul as well as I know him, that he was probably somebody who supported you as a fellow classmate. Did you guys support each other to get through this kind of big transition into vocational training, or was he just somebody who got into trouble with you? Look at that, the shock in his face now.
I think we're all like, the whole class of us, there was like 10 of us kind of
started off as
in a year, and they kind of like, sometimes there was 8 or 12 in the year, and it kind of went out, but there was like a core group of lads, and the year above us as well, and they kind of, everybody supported everybody. It was quite a decent set, a decent dressing room, and it was good. It was like, you know, obviously there was banter, but it was supported. You know, if you punched your locker in because you fell out your pirouette, you were laughed at. You know, you weren't like, it wasn't diva, you know.
Oh, Mendel.
Great.
Mendel times. So we graduated back in 2004. Yes. And was New Adventures your first job?
No, I think the Harry Potter film was. And then there was like a tour of Nutcracker with Matthew Bourne that was going to happen and didn't. So I ended up doing Panto, and then Swan Lake came up and there was an injury or somebody pulled out, so they needed a medium swan. So I had to audition for that. And that was my first one. So I think it was like maybe 6 months after we graduated, I guess. Right. I think I knew about it a while before. So I think the tour got postponed. I think it was due to SARS in China or something. It was like another world kind of thing that affected it, but good for me because it meant that I was available.
That's somewhat, I don't know if ironic is the right word to use here, but that's a bit of a coincidence, as we're all in a sort of a similar situation with tours getting cancelled at the moment, left, right and centre. But we won't dwell on that because we know that it's going to be all right, and we'll be back touring as soon as possible. Why not?
So from that point that you started with New Adventures up until this current day, I mean, you've done so many different shows with Matthew Bourne and so many different roles. Do you have a favourite one, and why?
I don't anymore. I did, like every few years I'd have one, but then some you'd remember more fondly because of like time had passed, right, and you'd forget how like hard things were, and you remember all the good stuff. But there's a few. There's like at points, you know. I mean, Edward Scissorhands was my first like full-time principal role, and you know, I opened at the Sydney Opera House. That was my debut in the role. Like,
so just a minor thing.
Yeah. That would scare me now, but back then I didn't even care. When I was 24, I was just like, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. The Prince in Swan Lake obviously is iconic, and it was the first role I performed that was a massive role when I was really young, like 22, and I must have been rubbish at it. I didn't really know it, and it was nice to visit that and get taught by Scott Ambler, who created it. And I kind of grew up with that show as well, because we studied it for A-level dance, and then like I did it as a swan and then did it as a prince. So it's in there, like, it means a lot to me. And then there's ones that you've helped create, like Leo in Sleeping Beauty, or Ralph in Lord of the Flies, or Julia and Craster performing in the Red Shoes. Because you're there from the beginning with Matt doing workshopping, and it's like your moves on stage, you know, that doesn't happen that often, you know, that you get to create a feature length piece. But I mean, there's so many shows, to be honest. I could go on forever. Angelo and the Carman was like a personal highlight, because I just love the show. I love the music and the choreography, and then just to perform that one, I can't think. There's loads. I mean,
well, they're all such wonderful shows.
So if we take someone like Julian Craster in the Red Shoes, how would you prepare for a role like that? Does it kind of follow the same formula, or does it vary with the different shows that comes up?
Yeah, do you know what? Sometimes it's how you start the piece, isn't it? Like certain pieces, you're like setting the scene. It depends if the story's through your eyes or through somebody else's, and how some you have to be there from the get-go, like full on dancing or full on acting, and some you can work your way in. Not you don't have to be ready, but like there's not like a pivotal scene moment straight away. Like Edward, you've got to be in it because you're walking funny and you're there, but the suit and the costume can help. Whereas Julian, he kind of comes in, and at the beginning he's just set in the scene he's kind of there, and he's just this odd kind of character. He's a bit like temperamental, and he's not that nice actually. He's a bit arrogant to begin with. And but then the first thing he does, except for like just plays the piano on the side, is a 5-minute solo. You've warmed up, then you've got cold, then you've sat on stage in the tux, then you get changed quickly, then you come on and you have to go, right, I'm going to soda bask off a piano. You know what I mean? It's like, there's nothing that can prepare you for that. You just got to be like, practice and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think we've all
done that.
We've all experienced ballets where you have those kind of odd, challenging moments. I remember we had quite a strange one, didn't we, in a ballet called Eine kleine Nachtmusik, where this is going to sound like I'm making it up, but I'm actually not. Paul and I had been dancing with another dancer flat out for sort of like a 10-minute first bit of the ballet. And then we did a pas de deux together while the other dancer was asleep. So he's lying down sleeping, we're pas de deux-ing away. And then we both ended up hiding behind this couch for a long time in a really awkward position, all kind of like crushed up, one balanced on top of each other because it wasn't a big couch and we're supposed to be hiding there.
Sweat dripping off your nose.
Sweat dripping off each other, onto each other. It was really disgusting, actually. And then you're there sort of like for a good 4 or 5 minutes getting cramps, and then you suddenly just pop up and have to dance again. It's crazy, isn't it? So
I like them ones.
And I
like it. I like it where you have to where you have to play dead. You do like a master duet, and then you have to pretend you're not breathing, and you want to be like that. And you just go.
I could beat that actually. We did a ballet a couple of years ago, The Sandman.
Oh,
and
no!
For the first probably 20-25 minutes, I was playing a sick husband, and I had to pretend to be asleep for that 20-25 minutes. And there's one particular show in Manchester. We just travelled from Lincoln the day before, where I think we just done 2 or 3 shows back to back, including all the travelling and the setup to get down and all stuff like that. That I just laid there, and all I remember was the lights going down, and the next thing I feel was Ray waking me up, and she's like, "I can hear you snoring."
Yeah, I heard he was asleep, and as I passed him on my way to like go round in this bit of dancing, I basically just thumped him to wake him up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's fallen asleep.
And then get up and do a massive solo.
Yeah, very unprofessional.
With a dead leg by now.
Yeah, you should never do this. This is not how professionals act.